Dally writes, Ed, did you ever meet or work with Bill Aucoin? I just finished Billy Idol's book, and Billy praises Bill for being instrumental in making him a star in the States. I've also heard that Kiss doesn't give him enough credit. Seems like a fascinating character. No books or movies about him that I can find. Thank you. Love the show. Dally, I hope I'm saying your name right. I did meet Bill Aucoin a couple times in my life. Bill very, very briefly managed Ace Frehley as a solo artist when I was started working with him in '87. As a matter of fact, one of the first times I met Ace and we met with him to potentially sign him around late '86, '87, we had a lunch in New York, and I'll never forget because we didn't know he was going to be there, and we turned up at the lunch, and there was Bill Aucoin at the table with Ace. And we spoke a little bit, of course, and then Ace did not retain him as a manager after we ended up signing him. They didn't continue to work together. So that was the only time I met Bill. And then I had met Bill a couple times after that. He had managed some other bands that he had contacted me about, and we had some brief discussions, and I think we met maybe once or twice at a KISS convention over the years. I certainly met him. I certainly knew him a little bit, but I would not say that I knew him well at all. And as far as him, you mentioned Billy Idol's book. I started reading that book, and I only got about a paragraph in, and I stopped. Not because it wasn't good, but I just got diverted to something else, and I don't have the book where I am at the moment, so I haven't been able to resume reading it, but I do hope to finish reading it off at one point. Bill was probably very instrumental to helping Billy's career. And, he worked with a lot of other bands too. He had a band, I think, trying to remember some of the bands he managed that he used to reach out to me about at the time. But I do remember us having some dialogue about certain bands that he was working with. And I can tell you that, as far as him not getting enough credit for KISS, I don't necessarily know if I'd agree with that. I mean, I have seen the guys in KISS be pretty, giving of credit to him for a lot of their success. If you listen to their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction speeches, I think it was Peter. I think all of them mentioned Bill. And I think it was Peter who actually spoke for a while about Bill. And I can also tell you this, which a lot of people may not know. When the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction happened, as I've mentioned before, Peter and Ace were nice enough to have me with them at their table during the ceremony. And that's a huge thing because those seats are like insanely priced. And, there's really nobody at those seats but maybe one other guest that they each get. So it's something to this day I'm incredibly grateful and honored that they thought enough of me to have me there. And one of the other people that they had at the table was a guy by the name of Roman Fernandez. And Roman was Bill's partner. As I think everybody knows, Bill was gay. And Roman was Bill's partner. And they thought so much of Bill that they had Roman there to represent him at the table. And I can tell you this, at the table during the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, right in the middle of the table, I'm not sure who put it there, if it was Roman or if it was Bill, if it was Roman or if it was Ace or Peter, but they put a little framed photo of Bill Aucoin on the table. I can't speak for what Gene and Paul did, if whatever they did, if they did anything, because I was not at their table. Theirs was a couple tables over. But I can tell you that Ace and Peter had a lot of remembrances of Bill Aucoin on that very important night. And I've seen them talk about Bill quite a bit in interviews, all of them over the decades. So I don't agree with you that that Bill doesn't get enough credit. I think the one guy that you hear about in KISS history that probably you could say doesn't get enough credit is a guy named Sean Delaney, who worked for Bill Aucoin and was really important in KISS in terms of their evolution, some of the songwriting, some of the production, the choreography, the building out of the shows. I think Aucoin gets a lot of notoriety. Sean, by every account of people I've talked to, was super important and is often not given as much of a mention. But the last thing I can tell you about Bill Aucoin is that Roman, his partner, I am still in touch with, and he lives in Miami, and he still works in artist management and actually uses the Aucoin management name on some of the business that he does. So, and he is somebody who really fights to have awareness for Bill. He actually started a campaign a few years ago trying to get Bill himself into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I think would be a difficult thing, but is certainly a worthy candidate. So Roman's done a great job keeping Bill's memory alive, and it's great that Billy had good things to say about him in his book. Thank you so much for the email.